Yeah, that's fine. Are you on your phone?
Yeah, it's nice to meet
Okay.
you, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How's the audio and for? Can you hear me well?
Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I just accidentally pressed the record. Sorry about that. I
That's
don't
no.
really like using Riverside, and I think people should hear that it's not really the greatest software. I
Yeah.
had like issues with it in the past,
Mm-hmm.
so I've been following your page for almost a month, and what inspired me is that I see you do martial arts.
Yeah, that's everything. That's my lifestyle, my special interest, so to speak.
That's amazing. I know you said you've been doing it since you were 19.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it was one of those things where like I was always into it, right? So, um, Street Fighter, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, all that stuff inspired me growing up, and then um, I got exposed to Bruce Lee from a friend who actually there's a bunch of branching stories. But long story short, I got exposed to Bruce Lee going to a friend's house, and I was so impressed by him. I was so impressed by like just his personality and everything. And then um, another friend coincidentally was like, "Oh, there's a school in the city that teaches Jeet Kune Do, this Bruce Lee style." And I was like, I took it as a sign, and I was just like, you know what? Let me just try this shit out. And then ever since then, I've been hooked. You know. So that was yeah. To really start training was Bruce. Um, but I've always loved it. Like I said, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. All those things. Like it always impressed me so much, and it was like always something I wanted to do until I finally decided to do it and try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because I just started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Mm-hmm.
like last week, and I really loved it. I think that it was a great experience for me to try something new, something a little bit authentic.
Yeah.
And I was actually speaking of Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's great, by the way. He's also
Yeah.
inspiration to me. I did a little research about him. I was taking the New York State real estate salesperson exam, which I
Mm-hmm.
did pass, and I
Nice.
met the guy that was giving me the test was literally like swearing about Bruce Lee and how he looked up to him and why he was inspired by Bruce Lee and what types of fightings he did, and also he told me what to look for in school, not just to go to any school, try it out one or two times, see if you like it or not. But he basically just gave me some pointers, and that really made me think outside the box and say, hey, look, I need to do something other than just working out at the gym.
I'm curious. So, what were the pointers that he gave you?
So he told me when I go to a school to really like observe with my eyes to see like who's really in the class, and also it's not really also about being a good teacher. It's about like being humble in the martial arts in terms of like not always being money hungry per se. Like it's not
Yeah.
really about the money when it comes to life and death. When you really have to fight and learn discipline, it's like a skill. You got to learn it, and now once you learn the skill, it becomes a lifestyle.
Yeah. There's so much to unpack there. So I guess we can go out on that conversation. And as far as okay, let's start with looking for a school, right? So
Hmm.
the problem with what people envision martial arts to be or what they want it to be isn't always how it manifests because we're basing our perception of the art as how we see it in movies. The wise master takes you and molds you to a killing machine, from the ground up, and master knows best and everything. And we want to have those principles and ideals. So we want to find that master that's like, yes, Sifu, and then all the what do you call it, the traditions and upholding all that. So we want that, right? But it's a business at the end of the day. The difference between now and back then is that it's a business. It's a profitable business with contracts and tuition. The movies that we used to watch back in the day, they were serving master because they weren't paying tuition. They were cleaning the ground and mopping, and it was just an honor to serve him. And they weren't necessarily paying him. So that gets muddled where a lot of these martial arts schools take advantage of what people want martial arts to be, and they use that to exploit people, and they use that to like And I've been through this, so I'm speaking from experience. Well, they use it to, you want this belt, you want this belt, do what master tells you, and but they, because you're paying them monthly, it makes the most sense for them to keep you as a student for as long as possible. So certain things that you could learn in a month, you'll learn it over the course of a year because they're drip feeding it to you, right? So that's a problem with a lot of like the Bruce Lee schools is that you're basically starting with just kickboxing, and you go to the school and it's just like, all right, we're gonna do jab, cross, hook, and kick, and then you're doing that for months and months and months, and you never had a single sparring session. And I always say like, if you have to be clear about what your intentions are with training, right? So people, they go to learn martial arts because they think it's cool or whatever, but they don't really know what they're there for. I'm like, do you really want to learn how to fight? Do you really want to learn how to fight? Then you might be in the wrong place. Do you want to compete? You might be in the wrong place. If you just want to have fun and be in community, then great. Then that's fine. But a lot of people go to schools that I've been to. I've seen it where they're like, okay, I want more than this. We're just doing kickboxing drills. I want to spar. We're not sparring, So you're in the wrong place. So you have to be honest about your intentions too. If you just want to exercise, and that's the other thing. A lot of people make this mistake. They're like, they go. Have you ever heard the term weekend warrior?
No.
Okay, so weekend warrior is a very popular term, especially in the physical therapy school train of thought, where you're a person who does nothing. You do no exercise. I don't walk. I don't jog. I sit. I work at a desk job all day. But then on the weekends, you do some activity that you love, right? Maybe basketball. Maybe you play touch football or martial arts. So the only activity you're getting is a high impact sport of some sort, So your weekend thing. But the problem is because you don't ever exercise or do anything else, you're always hurting yourself. So that's so like, what I'm saying. So weekend warrior is like you, and I did that myself. Like you're a guy who does no exercise, and then you're like, I'm gonna get in shape, so I'm gonna learn how to do Muay Thai, and I'm like, no, you got bad knees, bad hips. You're out of shape, and now you're jump roping and doing all this crazy stuff, and now you're gonna get injured, and it happens. So I would always come across a class of guys that are chronically got knee injuries, back injuries. They're in and out of therapy office, and it's because you're coming from the street, you're cold, you don't warm up, you don't do anything, and now you're hitting pads, and you're doing all this crazy stuff, and you're just slamming on your joints. You know what I'm saying? So that's the last part. Just to wrap it all up, is that people go to martial arts with the intention of getting in shape, and that's not why you should go. You're going to learn martial arts to learn an art for the community. And yes, there's exercise, but that can't be your sole form of exercise because you're gonna get hurt. I promise you, you're gonna get hurt because you don't have enough muscle mass. You're not flexible enough. Again, you got bad knees, so you should be doing martial arts is great to do, but you should be exercising regardless. And that's the point of all that. It says like you should be exercising, you should be walking, you should be doing these things so that way you can be a better martial artist. And so many martial artists miss that. And it wasn't until I realized that myself that I'm just like, I need to be in shape to do martial arts, not do martial arts to get in shape. You know what I'm saying? Okay, tangent over.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that perspective to me because I learned something. I wanted to say also, this guy who gave me real estate test told me what he said. I only wanted to stop going to the gym because I wanted something new, and I've been to the gym for so long. But I also said it's a lot to do both, but I can't quit the gym because, like what you said, you end up getting hurt. So I still work out at the gym. So maybe I'll do like 3 days at the gym and like 2 days martial arts.
Yeah,
Like I would switch it up. But at the end of the day, it's like also at the gym, it's what you make out of it too. It's how serious you are and disciplined you are. And I realized it's not how much you're actually lifting, it's about getting the form right.
exactly. And that's a good point. And that's the part. That's the other thing too. So, um, a way that so again, we'll go back to misconceptions of martial arts, right? So people think that the fancier the moves, the fancier the technique, the more valid it is, right? So like you go, so a lot of these Bruce Lee schools, Jeet Kune Do schools, they're teaching you like this trap into this trap into this art or this drill or whatever. But then like, I realized, I'm a logical person. We're logical people. Like pretty early in, I kept telling myself, I was like, I'm never going to use this. Like this is cool to do on pads, but this is not practical. I'm never going to use this. So a lot of people go to we call them belt chasers, right? So a lot of people go to martial arts schools. They're like, oh, I got this certificate. I got this certificate. I'm a master in this. I took this. I took this. And I'm like, okay, so you have all this knowledge of forms and techniques, but how much of it have you actually mastered? And how much of it can you actually use, right? So I'm trying to think of a good example. Okay, like Shaolin monks, right? So look at Shaolin monks, right? So you look at Shaolin monks, and they're doing all these tricks and holding fire and these flips and these splits and all this, and it's like circus performances, right? But why don't you see that kind of fighting in UFC? Why have you never seen that kind of fighting anywhere performed on an actual stage and tested, right? And that's why there was this whole way of, I don't, you probably don't follow this, but you know there was a Chinese martial artist, I forget his name, that started challenging all other Chinese masters by just using like UFC MMA style and was beating all of them. And he was like an enemy in China, but he was just like he just like Bruce. He was aware enough to say like all this stuff that you guys are doing is bullshit. I'm just using punches and kicks, regular ass punches and kicks, and I'm winning because fighting is simple. So all these teachers overcomplicate fighting. They make it mystical. They make it all this stuff. But then like, all right, get into a street fight, walk down Brooklyn, and do a split and do a spinning jump kick. Like that's just not gonna happen. You got to have a jab, a hook, cross, boom. 1, 2, 3. So to be an effective like fighter, if you actually want to learn how to fight, you have to literally, as Bruce would say, master the basics. Like, oh, you want to be a good fighter, just get used to getting hit and throwing a 1-2 combination. So like, there's a lot of martial artists that know so many techniques, and I've come across so many. But then it's like, all right, how often do you spar? And then like they start like getting nervous. Like, you got any? You spar anybody? Like, can we spar right now? Like, if I meet somebody who tells me they're a fighter or a martial artist, I'd be like, cool, let's throw the gloves on. Let's spar right now. See what you got. And then they're like, they get all nervous and shit. I'm just like, oh, so you got all these belts and certificates, but you don't actually know how to fight. You know what I'm saying? So that goes back to what you were saying about just mastering the basics in the form, right? So just have a really good jab and a really good cross and some nice footwork. That's enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you got a nice bomb 1-2 and you could like slip, move out, that is literally all you need to win 99% of street fights, without weapons. Like you get into a bar fight, you just bomb 1-2, and that's really it. You just have to train that. Get a heavy bag. Just keep working your punches and work your defense, and that's literally it. So I guess the point of that is to say that a lot of these schools are going to overcharge you for more than you actually need. You know what I'm saying? It's so much fluff and things like that. And yes, I've mastered several arts, and it's more of a novelty. Like, so I can teach you this drill and this drill. It's like it's a novelty to say like, oh, look at this trap, and like, okay, let's spar. I'm not going to use that shit at all. And that's I guess that's kind of the point of the whole brand of Born Fighting, right? That's why I didn't call it like, you know, Jeet Kune Do or Born Muay Thai, whatever. Born, because I know all these styles, but at the end of the day, I just simplified it. I was just like, it's just fucking fighting, dude. Like, yeah, I know Muay Thai, I know boxing, I know CSW, I know some weapons fighting. Like, I know a lot of shits, but why am I gonna complicate it and say like, I got a belt in this, I got a belt in this? Like, I just say like, oh yeah, people ask you like, what do you do? What do you teach? I'm like, I teach striking, I teach fighting. That's it. And people that they come across my page and ask me that. I'm like, I teach fighting. That's it. Well, I'm gonna teach you how to fight. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. I babbled.
No, 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 I'm listening to you.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you also think, though, it's also a mindset?
yeah. And that's that. And yeah, let's bring it back to the topic of self awareness. So like,
Hmm.
it's a mindset. And that's why I'm so big on self awareness, is because self awareness is literally just asking yourself the right questions. You know what I'm saying? So let's bring it to the topic, and that's like, again, people make impulse decisions, but then you're just, let's say martial arts, you're standing there in the class, and then you got to ask yourself like, okay, why are you actually here? What am I hoping to get out of this? You know what I'm saying? Is this worth what I'm spending on it? And like, so like, it's those honest questions you have to ask yourself, and those honest questions are kind of what led me down my path of just finally admitting to myself and letting go of like the traditions of martial arts, to say to myself like, I wasted so much money on shit that I didn't need to learn. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I just had to ask myself, because the other problem is that people go, because they are so reliant on going to the school to learn at the school, that they don't take it home and practice. There are so many people that do martial arts that don't actually practice what they learn. The only training they get is at the school, right? And it wasn't until I stopped going to all schools. The last time I was at actual martial arts school might have been 2015, 16 maybe. And when I finally told myself, I was like, I know the techniques. I'm just going to train myself. So it wasn't until I finally was honest with myself and I was like, I don't need any more teachers. I just need to apply what I've learned, as Bruce would say. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally that. Hey, let me take what I've learned in practice and that self awareness that like will make you a better fighter. You have to have self efficacy, which is one of my favorite terms. It's like the capacity to manage your own behaviors without anybody pushing you. Like self efficacy, like feeding yourself, taking care of yourself, doing your homework, getting to work on time, without any external factors. You know, so like that's part of self awareness. You know, and then that also comes down to self awareness in we can talk about autism and all that, but as far as habits go, self awareness and eating. All right, that's one of my biggest pet peeves is the lack of self awareness that people have when it comes to how they actually feel and respond to the things that they're doing. You know, so it's like you go to a job that you go to work, you feel shitty, and you blame the job, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to be here. You take it out on everybody. I'm like, all right, so how many hours of sleep did you get? Right? What did you eat last night? You know, like are you nourished? Like you keep taking painkillers, but are you also eating too much sugar? Are you taking all these painkillers because you're drinking too much, but you don't want to let go of the booze? You know, it's like, is it every time that I eat these fried chicken wings, I get the heartburn, and then when the doctor tells me, "Oh, I'm going to prescribe you Nexium and all this shit," and now you're going down a path of taking all these pills when all you got to do is stop eating the chicken wings, you know, like, but nobody wants to be honest with themselves and actually pay attention to how they feel, and even with processing your thoughts, like again, see, I told you I babble. I'm just gonna keep talking.
That's
But
okay.
yeah, yeah,
I'm a talker too, man.
yeah,
And I just wanted, can I say something?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Anytime.
First of all, I saw your podcast. It was great. I heard
Yeah,
it. And what
get
inspired
it.
me is the changing of the diet. Now, I'm on day number 9 with no gluten. So here's my weakness. It's never the soda. I never drink no sugars, no cake. My thing is, it's the pastas, pizzas, burgers,
Yep.
and the fries, and sometimes like the turkey, bacon, egg, and cheese. That's and the rice and beans. That's what does it for me.
Um, rice and beans isn't bad. I could debunk that for you, so don't beat yourself up about
I
that.
love the rice and beans. It's
If you
my.
have a yeah, if you have a gluten intolerance, it's different. But in terms of just eating rice and beans are not bad. Let me debunk that.
I
Debunk.
do have a gluten. I do have a gluten-free tolerance,
Okay.
and I had to cut all that out.
Okay, so that's legit. Yeah, if you medically can't have it, that's legit. But yeah, I agree with pizza. Pizza, we're New Yorkers. Pizza is my number one weakness.
That's what I'm. That's exactly right. Like Lombardi's. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I know all about it, but I've never been there. I still got to go there.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I got to try that. I haven't been to the Fara in Brooklyn yet, the original one. I've been
Mhm.
meaning to go there. I went there one time, but they sold out of dough, and I was like, damn, man, I got to go back. But yeah, pizza is my weakness, and again, that's not to say that. And you've heard me say this before if you saw my other podcast, but you don't have to give up these things. You don't have to give up pizza. You don't have to give up all this shit. But just be honest about how you feel when you eat it, and space it out, and don't make it part of your diet, right? So like, you know that like if you know every time you have that pizza you feel like you got the itis and you get a little heartburn, whatever, that's the price you pay to enjoy it. Space it out, you know. But if you're having this every day, it's just gonna snowball into all these other things. Again, now you're taking pills, you're cranky, you're not, you know, you got stomach pains because too much flour can mess up your stomach, and it's just to bring it back. It's that lack of self awareness that I see with so many people. Where like and this is our analytical brain. I'm like, people will complain about a symptom, and all of a sudden I'm just like, well, I know why. I'm not going to tell you why because if I tell you why, you're going to get offended. But in my head, I'm just like, I know why. You're just not being honest with yourself, and I leave it like that to myself. You know, I'm just like, you're just not being honest with yourself yet. You know, and that's a barrier that a lot of people have a problem breaking. You know,
It's crazy because I try to eat as healthy as I can, and I work out.
right?
No, I've been at the gym. I mean, that's not the best flex form because I'm holding my
It's
phone.
all right. Don't worry about it.
But it's crazy because I had 2 friends. who called me and told me I have a pot belly.
Mm.
I got fat on purpose so I could work all of it out. And what I've been doing since then has been working. And I just want to build muscle with my bis and tries, and it's been working.
Well,
And I have
let
to
me ask you this.
I actually haven't been working out for like months because
Okay.
I had a problem with my apartment, and I didn't know if I was moving or not. So I froze my membership, and I went right back. And I've been back since this Sunday. It's been Sunday, Monday. It's been 4 days.
Gotcha. Let me ask you this question: Are you okay? See if I can give you a little live help. What are
Hmm.
you? What is your meal plan? What are you eating? Like, walk me through 3 days of eating. Like, do you have a routine for your meals, and what are you eating, and how are you planning
So
them?
I do, and I don't. I'm very bad at planning and meal prepping.
Yeah.
So I actually eat this bread. I told you no bread. It's called flaxseed bread.
Okay, I know about that.
It's the best. So I'll have that with turkey bacon and like 6 eggs, and I'll slice like a tomato, and I'll put avocado.
Okay,
I
and
literally had that today, and then I'll be drinking water all day.
that's your breakfast.
Yes, but sometimes I won't eat that. Sometimes I'll have chai pudding
Okay,
with granola and raspberries, blackberries, and nuts.
okay,
And
and
then for dinner, I'll have like a cauliflower pasta, or I'll have like tacos,
okay. So you're
or
eating
I'll have
2 meals.
I'm sorry?
You're eating 2 meals.
No, I'm just giving you an example.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, or I'll have like, I'm just telling you what I have for options. And then I have my gluten free chicken nuggets, and I'll make
okay,
vegetables with it.
okay. How many meals you're having a day? Like, do you have three planned meals or 2 meals?
Usually 2 to 3.
Okay. Um, Not bad. My biggest advice, which you already know what I'm going to say, is to increase your protein intake. Um, so you're getting a lot of protein with that egg meal, and you get it with the egg and the turkey bacon. Turkey bacon is a great source of protein, so that's fine. Um, I would probably um, the gluten free pasta is fine, but if you're really trying to like build muscle, then you're gonna want to have how much do you weigh, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't care. Like 128. I'm trying to get to 140.
Okay, so that's how many grams of protein you want to eat a day, at least
Is what?
128 to
Okay.
140. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, because if you're so there's I don't know if you saw my protein post, but
No, I didn't.
so so basically, let me simplify it quickly because I'll talk forever. But protein is basically your body's building blocks. I don't know if you know that. So you got to eat more protein. You want to build muscle. It acts as not just your building blocks like for building muscle. It's your whole body needs protein. Your body is constantly breaking down and healing your stomach and cleaning yourself out. So there's a minimal amount that you should be ingesting, and that's just to be healthy and live healthy and not lose muscle. And that recommended amount is like zero point 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, which is basically 80% of your body weight. Now, if you're trying to build muscle and get bigger, you should be having at least your body weight in grams of protein or more. You know what I'm saying? So if you're having, so let me guesstimate because I'm decent with protein number. How many slices of turkey bacon are you having?
A lot.
Like, just give
Maybe
me a number.
6.
6. Okay, so 6. I'm just gonna grab a calculator. I'm just gonna give you a rough estimate, right? So if we do 6, and then you said how many eggs? Like 6 eggs?
Yeah.
Okay.
4. I think I had 4 or 5, but I said 6. I
Yeah.
had a lot.
Yeah, eggs are fine, honestly. Like
Hmm.
people demonize eggs. I can get into a whole rant about that in terms of bad diet advice that's out there
Hmm.
with vegans and all that. But all right, so 6. Let's see, times 8. It's about 40 grams, and then you said let's just say 4 eggs times. Okay, yeah. So that first meal, you're having like over 50 grams, almost 60 grams of protein.
Yep.
That's good. So you don't have to work that hard after that. And that's a very rough estimate.
And then look, I'll have this as a snack. The gluten
Those
free.
those are okay. So look at the back. Look at the nutrition facts, right? How many grams of protein are in that?
6.
Okay, how many calories is it?
But this is a snack.
Yeah. I'm just
Okay.
curious. But how many calories is in it?
190 per serving.
Okay, so like the ratio of protein to calories is okay, but you'd be better off just having a protein bar at that point. Because there's a brand I like Bear Bells. They're pretty good.
Oh, could
For
you send that to me? I want to look into that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you on DM. So like just
Okay.
for example, a Bear Bells bar is 200 calories
Okay.
and 20 grams of protein. You know what I'm saying? So because you got to look at the amount of calories you're eating versus how much protein you're getting, right? So if you think of your daily calorie intake as like currency, you know what I'm saying? It's like how much are you spending on this food versus this food, right? I could spend 200 calories on this, or I could spend 200 calories in this and get way more protein. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta start thinking like that. I'll just give you a couple more good sources. Greek yogurt is amazing. Like Faye is great. Cottage cheese is great. Edamame beans. That's it. Yeah, just to say, yeah. So just some advice for you. Just you're doing the right thing. Just yeah, have a lot more protein and just make it a plan. Like I said, so just like when you have a meal, think about first what the protein source is going to be. So a dinner shouldn't just be like I'm having pasta, right? And it's just pasta. Even if it's gluten free and all that, it should be like I'm gonna have chicken with pasta. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna
Yeah.
have, yeah. So like the protein is the meal. You have to change your mindset. So what is my protein, and then what am I having with the protein? So it's like tonight I'm having big chicken or salmon. Okay, now what's with it? All right, let me have some broccoli and some cauliflower. But the meal is the protein. You know what I'm saying? Tangent, but yeah, just wanted to give you that advice.
Interesting.
Yeah,
So, I lost my train of thought because I'm
yeah.
just
I just
trying to
let's go
think
back to
about what I'm.
self-awareness, right? Or
You
if you want
said a
to talk,
lot about the protein and the carb.
yeah.
So it's weird because I don't like sweet potatoes, and I was encouraged to eat it.
No,
And
they're good.
I love French fries because I love French fries. I'll make it my own
Okay.
in my own house.
So all right. So let's keep going down the nutrition part, right? So
Hmm.
sweet potatoes are great. There's a misconception that sweet potatoes are somehow worse than regular potatoes because they have sweet in it, but it's actually they're better than regular potatoes. Regular potatoes are fine. Don't get me wrong. But when you look at the foods that you eat, and this is very important for autistic, neurodivergent people, is that so because I want to keep bringing it back to that topic, but the things that affect normal people negatively affect us worse. You know what I'm saying? So like when you have because all right, so like let's bring it all together, right? So if you have ADHD, if you're ADHD, you naturally have a tendency to be hyperactive. Like we have hyperactivity. You know what I'm saying? We have these things that are on another level, and we also crash harder than other people, right? So if you're eating a meal that makes the average person crash, it's gonna make us crash so much harder. Or if you have something that makes you like you're caffeine sensitive, like if you're already hyper, something that makes a neurotypical hyper will be worse than us, or like all that's to say is a bad meal will affect us worse. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's why I don't drink coffee.
Exactly.
Don't get me wrong, I love coffee. I love regular iced coffee with some like almond milk and cinnamon. My favorite. Can have it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm having coffee right now, but like I try to do 2 cups minimum, and even with coffee, it's a risk for me sometimes because I have a sensitive stomach, which is a whole other
How
story.
you
But
feel on it though? How do you feel? Do you feel like your heart is racing fast?
I think I'm so used to it at this point. I'm Puerto Rican. It's been my DNA. My mom drinks coffee. I've been having coffee since I was a kid, so like I'm
Mhm.
used to it. But I can feel because I'm so used to the amount that I drink. I can feel the difference if I take it a little further. Like if I have a third cup one day for no reason, I'm gonna be off the walls. Or if I have a Red Bull, but
Red Bull is horrible.
yeah, yeah. But for me, like coffee in particular, kind of boosts my mood a little bit, and so does matcha. Um, so I have it more for the mood boost than anything. But I'm trying to wean off it to at least 1 cup a day. But back to what I was saying. So okay, let's say French fries. So when it comes to food and food preparation, right? So you have to look at how you're preparing it, and it becomes two different things, right? So a potato. So you take a potato, raw potato, and you bake it. It's okay. It's still a potato. It's still got tons of fiber. It's still got living enzymes, and it's minimally processed, right? And it's actually good for you. Take that same potato, chop it up, cover it in canola oil, and deep fry it. it's not the same food anymore.
I don't use canola oil.
Yeah, which is yeah, it's horrible, and people don't understand that. So they people demonize
It's
potatoes.
all, sorry, I heard what you were saying. It's all the oils that are bad. Yep.
Yeah,
Not only the canola oil, but it's the vegetable oil.
exactly, exactly.
Yep.
That's
Hmm.
horrible.
I try,
I
I
cut that.
try to limit that as much as possible. And I spoke about this before, which I'm very passionate about in my podcast. And I think that I would love to just, spread the word and awareness to a lot of people that like to run and are athletes that
Yeah.
drink a lot of not even energy drinks, but they drink a lot of like Powerade and they drink Gatorade. Also, there's this drink that I like, and I know that it's somewhat decent, but when I read the ingredients, it's a turn off. The electrolytes, and I have it like in different flavors. It's so horrible. It's a
Oh,
turn
the
off.
electrolyte beverage, the one that looks like Pedialyte.
Yep.
The only one that you could drink is the coconut. I drink the coconut because that's the only one that doesn't have food coloring.
I don't drink any of them because I don't love coconut. Like the idea sounds bad.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. So Powerade upsets my stomach because of the food coloring. So yeah, all the stuff that has yellow, whatever, red, the
I
color.
stay away from all dyes, brother. All dyes.
Yeah.
Any dye that you see, I run.
Yeah. So
And no fast food. Period.
yeah, there's some ambiguity there. Like it depends on where you're getting it from. Like and what your definition of fast food is, right? If you're going to Chipotle and you're getting
Nope.
just a meat bowl, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, of course, it's not the highest quality meat, but if you're just getting a bowl with meat and veg, then
I
it's
used to go
terrible.
there. It's over. I
Yeah,
love Chipotle. Loved
I mean
it.
they're overrated and they're overpriced right now, but I'm just using them as an example. I
No,
like.
you don't understand. It's every time, bro. Every time I went there, I got the itis.
Oh, really?
And then I heard there was an outbreak. People got sick.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
then, why the hell would I go there again?
Yeah, yeah. Kava's okay. I don't know if you heard of Kava. There's one in Brooklyn that I like, but yeah, like if you're getting like McDonald's or something like that, then like there's
I never
nothing.
ate at McDonald's.
You never had it? Oh wow, so you're blessed.
Stay
Go,
away.
try it now. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But I guess
And
so.
no Burger King, no Wendy's, no
That's
Taco
worse.
Bell.
Burger King's the worst.
I don't
Uh,
eat any, but what I do have, I'll have like halal food. I love halal.
yeah,
I'm Middle Eastern. I'm
yeah.
Moroccan and I'm half
Well, good.
Syrian.
But you gotta be careful of the white sauce, though.
I
You know
like
why?
the white sauce and the barbecue sauce.
So I'm about to break your heart. You know what the white sauce is usually made out of?
No.
Mayonnaise. You know what mayonnaise is made out of?
Mayonnaise is trash.
Mayonnaise is made out of oils. The oils they're trying to avoid.
Shit.
Yeah, sorry, man. That's
I
why
don't
you
eat mayonnaise. I hate mayonnaise. Only with tuna. That's it.
a lot of carts, most carts, from what I've experienced, have mayo-based white sauce, and then they mix it with other stuff. If it's just tzatziki, it's different, but they don't use tzatziki. They use the mayo-based one. So
It's funny. My friend told me to avoid all trucks.
yeah, I mean it depends. Some are better than others, but
Oh, come on, man. This is New York City. Some of
I
them
love
are
halal.
really authentic.
Yeah, I love halal. I mean, halal guys is amazing,
Yep.
but the white sauce is terrible. If you actually go to halal guys and get the little packet of the white sauce and now look at the ingredients, it's gonna. Well, you see what I said.
Okay.
You got to just stick to the hot sauce. But yeah, if you want to eat healthier halal, you can get chicken over salad. They do chicken over salad with the
Yes, I
hot.
do that. I do
Yeah,
the chicken. Yes.
and the barbecue usually doesn't have oils, but it'll have some sugar. But it's still a better option than like the white sauce. So sadly, yeah.
Good. Now I won't never eat white sauce again because I don't do this.
And they won't even tell
I
you. You
thought
get
it
the
was
nasty part.
like, I don't know what I thought it was, to be honest. Something
That's the
like,
thing. It tastes amazing, but people don't actually know what's in the white sauce. You could ask the average person, like, "What's that made out of?" And they won't even know. They'll think it's tzatziki or something, and we know it's not.
you know
Tzatziki's a
what's
lot.
crazy? We're two people from the same city that have the same thing, and we met on social media. And
Yeah,
that's really, it's the human connection. And now we're finally having, this conversation.
yeah,
And I'm so passionate about the youth and inspiring the people to really not only recognize but acknowledge and say, hey, look, the world may be a fucked up world, but how can I make it better for myself? Or how can you remove yourself from a toxic situation or a toxic environment so you can make it the best for your own for yourself on your own, because at the end of the day, our parents are not going to be here forever. I live alone, so we
Yeah.
have to really have better habits. That's my opinion. I think I'm in the best health right now, but I think like I'm on my way of becoming a beast.
Oh yeah. It's just consistency, and
It's
that's
not just that it's consistency. It's about, hey, look, I admit I eat I ate horrible because I also really love, cinnamon raisin bread with cream cheese.
yeah.
You know, there are certain foods that I love.
Yeah. Well, well, consistency is, we'll say consistency is step two, right? So let's bring it all together. Let's bring the topic to like the self awareness, but also the neurodiversity, right? So the first step is the self awareness, like I told you about, the self honesty. So like it's admitting to yourself that, and this is what I've learned. So I guess I'll share my own experiences, but admitting to yourself when you are doing something harmful or you need to change something. So first is that self honesty, like what I'm doing right now isn't working. What I need to change something. Then comes the consistency part. But the problem with the consistency part is people take on too much too soon, right? So if we're looking at this from like an ADHD brain, we have this, and I've and anything I say, I speak from my own experience and from my own research. Anytime I speak about anything, I just as a caveat, just as a disclaimer, feel free to fact check me, but I don't speak about things unless I've thoroughly researched them. So when I say something, it's not like, oh, I'm going to quote this person, but I definitely learned it from somewhere, a textbook or something. Fact check me, but I wouldn't speak on it if I didn't experience it or have knowledge of it. Anyway, all that's to say is, so we have a limited capacity in terms of, because we have the hyper focus, we can do limited things very well, but we can only do so much at a time, right? So for people like us, we can't do a complex program on top of a diet, on top of it's just too much. It's too many things to maintain. There's too many habits. So like the self awareness and honesty comes from asking yourself, what can I handle right now that I can maintain without disrupting the rest of my life?
And
You know what
that's
I'm
why I
saying?
quit my job at the post
Really?
office. It was really hard, Dennis. I always had a dream of always owning my own business. I'm the type of person who's extremely rebellious. I
Mm-hmm.
always question everything and everybody because there are a lot of frauds in the streets and people are really not authentic and they're not genuine.
Right.
And the post office was such a mentally exhausted environment that even when I had the time to work out, I couldn't mentally even do it because I was so overstimulated. And it made me depressed and it actually hurt me financially more than benefited because I was just, not that I was eating out, it's just being there. I used to just spend money on garbage.
Yeah. That
Like
makes sense.
not like the vending machine, but I couldn't do
Yeah. I went through a similar situation. It makes sense where, I never say where I work, but I used to work for a
it.
major wireless company, major wireless cell phone company. Leave it at that. And I worked there for 12 years. And it wasn't towards. I got stuck in the whole salesman mode where it's just like you make. That's how they get you in sales. It's like you make enough money to survive, but to make that little extra, you almost have to sell your soul, and it's a lot of deception and things like that. And long story short, towards the end of it, like when I quit in what 2021, 2022, I think finally, um, the job was so mentally draining, and it took so much of me to just face people every day in an environment I don't like being in, because human interaction is hard enough for us already. So to force myself every day to deal with these coworkers that I can't stand, to deal with these angry customers, to then go home, I have no energy left. I'm spent. We have limited resources, and my resources are spent, so I couldn't do anything for myself. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't until I quit that, like, which was the best decision of my life, and I went to my now employer, who I won't say, but that, like, it changed my life. You know what I'm saying? And like, I was in great shape, and then 2018, 2019, my health declined. Pandemic, my health declined horribly, and then I picked back up when I quit that job. But um, yeah, it was, as long as I worked there, I had nothing left to do anything else, and that's again the self
And
honesty.
that's how I felt. And
Yeah,
not only that, I had nothing to show.
right.
What do I have to show? I don't have millions of dollars in investments or cryptos. Like, I literally have nothing to show.
Yeah. The only thing I have to show was a decent 401k that I rolled over, but that was it.
I
Well,
don't
other
even
than
have
that,
that.
I had a lot of debt too from a relationship at the same time. So
Yikes.
yeah, so
And
that's a whole other
I
thing.
got myself into major credit card debt. I'm getting out of it now, and I'm trying to reinvent my entire life at 30. And it's fucking hell.
I
It's
did it. I'm 40. I'm turning 42 this year. I reinvented my life at 39. You know what I'm saying? So it's never too late. I know. I
it's
know.
never too late, but it's fucking hell. I
It's hell.
can't afford a car. I can't do anything.
Honestly, I wouldn't even make owning a car a real goal in living in New York, because if anything, and I'll tell you from experience, I owned a car for like 20 years. I've always had a car. I started driving when I was 17,
Mhm.
and pre-pandemic in 2020, when I finally got rid of my car, I didn't renew my lease. I've never been so much more at ease after getting rid of my car.
So how do
Get
you get around?
train, bus, you
The
know.
train stinks.
I mean, bro, it's just New York, man. You got to embrace it because at the end of the day, especially parking in New York now, dude, the amount of stress I had from work because I park in the street, so worrying about my car, maintenance, traffic, red lights, finding parking, wear and tear, brakes, insurance payments, like
All
just
that.
getting rid of all that to just swipe a card and get on the MTA and deal with a couple of stinky people once in a while. It's an easy trade off, and I have extra money to invest and save. And if I need to drive somewhere, I'll rent a car or I'll take an Uber. You know what I'm saying?
That's true, but it's outside New York. Really, that's really the issue.
Yeah, once you leave New York, you need a
Yeah.
car. Don't get me wrong. And one day maybe I hope to move away, but um, I don't want a car. Like not to discourage you, but my
No,
advice
for
to you:
sure. I want to
don't
leave New
make
York too. I'm just tired. I'm tired of the city life.
take especially since you want to reboot your life. Take all that money you would spend on a car and invest it. Take all that money you would spend in a car and pay down your debt, and then get debt free. That's a better way to spend your
A
money. And
100%.
yeah,
I'm not even. I'm not. It's not even as bad as before. Like
yeah,
I
exactly.
hired like a credit repair company because it was just really bad.
Yeah, that's another thing that I got really into is financial. I haven't talked about it a lot on my page, but I'm very into finances as well because it's like
We
once
need
you
to talk about this
yeah, I can help you with that. But
at a
once
different
you
at a different conversation
yeah
because that's like a whole
yeah
different discussion. But I just think that people like me and you, we still have a lot to offer, the world. We just don't fit in with modern day society. We don't have the same values. We don't hold the same principles as they do.
yeah
I really don't fuck with the corporate world, man. I literally saying corporate America can crash and burn to a million pieces into a whole bunch of rubble, and I could give two fucks. I think all these corporations are greedy, and I think that they don't do anything except profit from the people. Like a lot of these products that they're selling per se is lousy. It's just that people are they're desperate for lousy products
yeah
instead of trying to make your own product and to be genuine with yourself and to get to know yourself better and to be an active member of the community. People are just always following trends, but they're not really starting, a whole new perspective and a whole new way of looking at the world
yeah
and how we can actually fix modern day problems by looking at ourselves.
yeah. So and it's funny how we keep going back to self awareness. So it's like I look at I'll give you a perfect example, right? So you go to work and you I don't know, whatever. I'm just trying to generalize. You work at some job, and your coworker, you have that one coworker who's always wearing new Jordans, or they come in with the Yeezys and they always got the latest pair. But it's like, okay, you're not flexing though, because we work in the same job. I know how much you make, so I know that for you to buy those, you just put yourself in some debt. You probably charge those. You know what I'm saying? It's not a flex. Once you wake up and start being aware, it's like instead of just like, oh, those shoes are good. Oh, cool. I like your sneakers. In my mind, I'm just like, bro, you didn't need those. You could have saved money and bought this pair. Like You know Nike Roshis? I don't know if you know those. Those are my favorite sneakers because they're cheap and they're comfortable. I buy
Oh,
like
oh yeah, send them to me. I would like to see.
yeah.
Okay.
They come like seasonal, but when they come out, like I buy like 8 pairs in different colors because I'm like they're comfortable, they're
Uh-huh.
cheap, and it's you know what I'm saying, and I'm even getting
I want
cheaper.
to see them.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay.
Um, but now, dude, I even got cheaper. I buy Amazon barefoot shoes now. I buy a brand called Wheaton. They're comfortable, you know what I'm saying. But it's like it's because I don't give a shit anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like because I'm
Why
like,
should we care?
yeah,
Why?
I don't want to put
What
money.
for? What for?
I don't want to give more money to Jordan. Like Jordan's got enough money. He doesn't need my money, and we're New Yorkers, so everybody's flexing to each other, but we're all wearing the same shit. It's like, so you're just so
That's the problem with the hip
yeah,
hop community. There is no more authenticity. It's
exactly.
all the same change. It's all, wanting to kill each other, all based on anime and, smoking, having sex, and having sex with the wrong woman.
Yeah,
And then people get themselves into a fucked up situation, based on how western society, western modern society I should say, looks at men, especially somebody like me and you. We may not be, honestly, I may not be the most masculine man in the world to many, at least I'm in tune with myself, and I leave my house with dignity and honesty and my heart on my sleeve, and I know exactly
yeah,
where I came from and where I'm going. I don't need to entertain the damn thing.
exactly. I don't even. I mean, that's a whole different topic. I don't even know what happened to hip hop. Again, I'm a raised New Yorker, and hip hop. I don't know what it became, but
What happened to like people like Nas and Fab? Who are
exactly.
these people?
Yeah, I mean Nas is my favorite. I still fucks with Nas, but like, and Clips came out with a new album that's good. But like most of the other shit that's out there, I'm like, whatever. Like,
And what happened to DMX?
yeah, rest in peace, right?
Yeah. Or
The
like somebody
change.
like Jadakiss or
Oh
Drew
yeah,
Santana.
yeah, I love Jada.
Like these are the diplomats, the
Yeah,
locks.
exactly.
These are
Now,
the real OGs of New York. And I just named you a few. I
yeah,
didn't even name you a whole bunch.
yeah, that's. I mean, Mobb Deep is forever. I mean, Prodigy raised me basically. You know what I'm saying? So,
I was
uh,
just at the Fab concert on Sunday.
yeah, I saw you post about that. That
It
was
was
pretty sick.
great. It was great. He was amazing. He was amazing. He came out, and at the end, like everybody's leaving, and I'm just staying. I'm like paying attention. He started singing "Breathe."
Nice.
One of my favorite songs by him, but not my favorite.
That's a
It was
classic.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean, you could look back then and say that the culture was one thing because there were some toxic things about it back then, but now it's the problem is that it's become so much about
Materialistic.
materialism and drugs. That's the other thing too. It's like yo,
But I, I,
everybody.
I have, I feel for me, I feel like a lot of, look, my feelings are not facts. I feel back then, like Nas, all these OGs, they had to actually work hard to get to where they're at.
Yeah, because back and I always say this, the '90s was the final decade of like true creativity in music because back then. No matter what genre we're talking, because I listen to everything. I listen to rock. I love Tool and all these bands.
I love this pop star, Avril Lavigne. She is so
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh
She's
yeah, I
so
know.
authentic, and I have a lot in common with that girl. I
Yeah,
saw her live,
yeah.
and
Back.
homies, they think I'm gay because I like her. And I'm like, she could sing better than Taylor Swift.
I mean, yeah, I
She
give
could
you
sing
that.
better than J Lo.
I'm
She
not
could
a
sing
Swiftie.
better than Selena Gomez. She could sing better than Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, that's
She could
legit.
sing better than
Not,
Britney Spears. She could sing better than Christina.
yeah, it's
She
legit.
don't need she don't need all that light, all the blue light. She could sing.
And people,
Clearly
people,
she could
it's
sing. She could even
like
sing country.
yeah, it's because of the genre. Because it's not weird to like female artists like Alicia Keys and Mary J. Blige and those shit. But
I love Alicia Keys.
oh, I'm in love with her. I'm still love her. You know.
She has my birthday.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Nice.
she's an Aquarius, just like me.
I have the
I
same
know
birthday.
I have met her and
Fan.
I said some crazy shit to her. I don't know, something crazy like, I don't know, you're fat, which is not even true. Just something crazy, and I don't even know her. She would curse me out.
Oh really?
Because I would.
That's funny. Yeah, yeah. Back then, yeah, you had to sound different. Every band sounded different. Every hip hop artist sounded different. If you sounded like somebody, they would accuse you of biting. Everybody was
Even
talking.
Blink 182
Yeah.
and
Oh
A Day
yeah.
to Remember. You know A Day to Remember?
Yeah, I remember them.
They're great.
All the new metal bands and like it's like back then we saw it as kind of corny sometimes, but you look back and it's just like, well, they sounded unique. At least there was different like movements, but everybody sounded different. Now it's like everything's AI generated, auto tuned.
Yeah. And even Madonna, she
Yeah,
could
right.
sing. I saw her. I
I
was the
forgot.
only straight man from Brooklyn that saw her. I'm telling you, she can sing.
Yeah, I
I
forgot
mean,
who.
even though she's into her whole Kabbalistic crap and she's not really my type when it comes to what her beliefs are, but her as a performer, I seen her on my birthday last year. She's really talented.
She's a legend. Yeah,
She
absolutely.
really is. She really is. My favorite song by her, my favorite album is the Confessions on the Dance Floor. That
Nice,
really shows me who she really is.
nice. Um, what was
Homies don't get it. They just like to listen to freaking love songs and, listening to music that just doesn't have any purpose.
yeah, manufactured, right?
Yep.
That's how it is. So, um, there was some I forgot who made this statement, but it summarized it perfectly. I was like, the '90s hip hop scene was about the drug dealers.
Hmm.
Now it's about the drug users. Everybody's just high on the shit now. Because back then nobody
Remember Akon?
remember who?
Akon?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah,
Remember I'm Locked Up? Remember that song?
yeah. That's a classic.
Bro, I'm just thinking like, what happened to him?
Yeah, he started
Because
making
for
music and
me,
started
he
doing
could
charity.
also do reggae.
Yeah, he
Why
started
did he?
getting very involved in politics and doing charity work and things like that. I haven't checked up on him, but yeah,
I
he did.
heard that he didn't raise enough money for the cities in Africa, which
Yeah,
is sad.
yeah. He was trying to do the philanthropy thing, but they stop you.
Sad. Sad.
So with the time, because I got a little bit of time left, so this
Yep.
timeline, let's pivot to like the neurodiversity experience and everything, like and self awareness. So I guess let me ask you a question. So what was your inspiration, or what was the moment where you kind of told yourself I got to make a change? Like was there a spark, and like how did you start? Right, and then I'll go from there.
Yeah, so basically I moved out 2 years ago. I came from a toxic household. I'm Jewish, so the religion is somewhat toxic. I try really not to identify with their values and views of the world, especially in 2025. I saw myself as somebody who can be an asset to creativity and also inventing my own brand. So I have a lot of people that I'm close with, even though I fight with a lot of people because I'm so controversial. As I say, at every podcast, I'm extremely controversial when it comes to everything. And I look at myself in the mirror and I say that I have to leave my house with a smile and come home the same way I left. And what inspired me is that people need to know my story. People need to learn how to work together and stop being so hard headed, which I've been trying so hard to work on. And what really inspired me is my life coach told me I need to make a podcast. And I said, look, I don't really have all the tools. I even started to record, like, I'm on this platform called Riverside. It's not really the greatest. And I got a lot of views and listeners and responses from 13 countries. And that's not, a whole lot, but I've been doing this for like a year. And I'm just getting a lot more recognition um, within certain parts of the world, but very few people are listening to me, which I don't really care about. As
Yeah.
long as people are hearing the message and think. What inspires you to keep going is to think big, to actually think that you can do more than what you're doing, but visualize it in a way that it makes sense. Because I have like 10, 15 business ideas that I know is more practical than me staying in a job for 30 years and literally me dropping dead after the 50th year of that job, per se.
So I got a couple questions. The first one is, Why do you say you're controversial? Because you say that, but I don't know why you say that and what it.
Because I don't think like the general population. I don't think about think about what they're thinking about when it comes to politics, music, food. I like what I like, and I really like to stay on my ground, and I always stand up for what I believe in.
I wouldn't call that controversial. I would call that you're just aware, because I consider myself the same way, but I don't. I just say that I'm just more aware than most people, and it's being aware and being comfortable. Because it's like if whatever you're doing, you're 100% comfortable in your shoes, then you're good and you're aware. If people disagree with you, that's on them. But that's just my feedback. I wouldn't say controversial necessarily. I think awareness is a better word. And that's also, an autistic trait is that you have a level of awareness that some people don't, because one thing I'm accused of is being very emotionless, and I know that I can be very emotionless about things, but it's also because I resent people that have big emotional reactions over nothing. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah,
so
like people who overreact.
yeah, like
I
things.
overreact about things that I think that are important to me, like when it comes to religion or money. And I think
Yeah, we
that
have values. Yeah, of course. I'll flip
people that
out
are
over stuff.
extremely injustice and are racist,
Yeah,
I've dealt with racist people before. I've dealt with people, who think that take advantage of me when it comes to money, and I really got upset. But other than that, I mean, if somebody wants to call me a homosexual, I don't give a fuck. If somebody
yeah.
wants to call me a low life midget, or I'm short, or my voice is weird, or they laugh at my podcast because they think that I don't take it serious, fuck them, bro. But when it comes to like religion, and when it comes to my personal boundaries, I'm gonna confront you and I'm gonna say, look, you need to back the fuck out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Not off out, because at the end of the day,
I got you.
when I get angry, because anger is a sign of immaturity, and I don't respond to you, and I know to remove myself from you, it's because you are acting in a toxic way and saying things that are extremely intolerable in 2025.
Which is kind of stems to what I'm saying. So the problem again, to pivot the conversation again, but the problem with okay, so this might be a controversial take, but everybody's so worried about hurting feelings nowadays that
Yep,
when somebody like me who's just completely logical about things, I would come off as offensive just to tell somebody the truth. You know what I'm saying? But I hear it with people like coworkers and things. Like everybody's so just like, oh, poor baby, like So like somebody, you got a coworker who's always complaining about they got a headache. I'm tired today. And then everybody else is gonna be like stroking their emotions and being like, oh, you poor
I'm
baby.
tired too.
Yeah, and I'm like, you were drinking last night. That's your problem. Why am I gonna feel sorry for you? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It's like there's a cause and effect, and
Hundred, a
nobody,
hundred percent,
nobody wants to.
a
Yeah, nobody
hundred.
wants to be honest. Yeah, I'm just like, dude, you're a chronic drinker. Why am I feeling sorry for you? Everybody else is poor babying you, and I'm like, like,
Fuck you. Why do I give a fuck? I
yeah,
still have to
exactly.
work here and sweat.
Yeah, I showed up on time and you didn't, and why am I feeling sorry for you? You know what I'm saying?
And that's the problem with the corporate world.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
And
the
that's
problem with the corporate world, because you and her are still getting paid the same.
exactly. And everybody's so afraid to hurt feelings, and everybody's so
You can't hurt my feelings when it comes to the truth. I have my grandfather who's an OD diabetic. Like, he's literally like crazy diabetic to the point where, and I don't want to sound over exaggerating because that's also a trait that I have, but I'm passionate about helping people. People need to fucking understand it all starts when you're 20, 30, 40. Stop the sugars. Stop, stop, stop. My grandfather 3 weeks ago was 384. That's hospital time. And I told him, I said, look, you could drop dead at any time. You could
yeah,
drop dead at any time because of the way you're eating. And it's not really his fault because he's so old and he has dementia. You will drop dead at any given time if you don't stop eating correctly.
yeah, yeah. And that's the part. And if you saw my podcast with with Stick Doc.
Yes.
So Doc Chris, amazing dude. I love this dude. But I mentioned it when I was talking to him. I was like, the path of least resistance is the hardest step. I'm like, you
What does
know,
he do for you?
he's a physical therapist. So he worked on my shoulder. I tore my shoulder badly. He worked on me.
Yes.
I'm in fighting shape. He also mentored me because I was in school for exercise science, and I apprenticed under him for a little while, and I asked him a lot of questions, and I learned a lot.
Wow.
He's also a fellow Jeet Kune Do martial artist. Like we got along instantly. I love this dude. And
Does he
talk
do
about
any like nutritional stuff?
not officially, but he knows about it. We talk about it, but that's not his
Do you
practice.
think like he could help me per se?
It's not, the thing is once you're in the medical field, you can't do anything outside of your scope of practice. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So he can't necessarily do that. If you have a physical injury, I'll send you to him any day of the week. He can
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
But I mean, nutrition, I can help you with that. I mean, that's easy.
We need to have more of these conversations. I want to get to know you so we can connect because at the end of the day, it's like I want to build with people like you
Yeah,
versus people who already know me and are not really as open minded as me. And I would say comfort zone is death zone. I'm only comfort. I'm just happy of where I am, but I'm not satisfied. If that
yeah.
makes sense.
No, that's a good way to say it. Like, be happy, but don't be satisfied. Like,
Yeah,
and that's not to say be greedy, but be happy, but always strive for something. It doesn't have to be material, it doesn't have to be money, but strive for self improvements, strive for health, strive for something. So like, always be happy, but always keep striving also at the same time. Because once you stop striving, you get complacent, and then you start going the other direction. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah.
So also I was in barbering school.
Really?
Yeah, I finished the course. That's the only thing that I'm happy about, right? Of course, I never really pursued because I had to move out and I needed a job that would sustain me. I never like I never even went back to barbering.
Mm.
It's just
That's that's a very ADHD thing. I've started and tried many things, and then
how many is many?
yeah, I'm computer engineering, EMS, uh,
Multiple, right?
yeah, multiple things I've started. But
But it's so
I'm
it's not even that I don't want to pursue. It's just like, okay, look, I got my obviously I got my driver's license. I
yeah,
obviously have it because I never even drove because I don't have money for a car.
yeah. I got a personal training license, and I never got an official gym job. You know what I'm saying? And I let it expire, like because I didn't really need it. You know what I'm saying? Because I learned more than even the personal training certificate gives you, so I didn't feel the need to keep paying for it. But some people
That's
would
the
do it,
problem.
you know,
That's the problem with New York. All these licenses for what? It's a money thing.
exactly. So somebody who's tried multiple things but keeps trying new things, I would respect them more because they're trying things and they know what works and what doesn't, than somebody who like doesn't do shit and they just stay doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So
But
like we,
isn't it self sabotage that I never even tried barbering and I had a passion
but
for
why
hair?
didn't the question
I
is why didn't you?
because how you know if you don't like something unless you try it?
Right, but my question is why? So do you still want to try it?
Of course.
Okay, I was just
I mean,
curious. I'm
I
like,
didn't do all those hours of school to do nothing, even though the certificate means shit.
yeah, yeah,
In order to be a good barber, you have to do it. That's with anything.
yeah,
You have to
exactly.
actually cut hair, fades, mohawks, tapers, and then the skin, and then the certain what number, and then all the blades. It's crazy.
Do any of your friends trust you enough to let you cut their hair?
I mean, as much as that the next person.
That's the best place to start because you can't start charging people until you've cut some real people. So
And that's what I'm saying. So you know what I did? I had a solution. I went on the computer. 'Cause I'm not going to no barbering school. I'm not doing that. I want to cut hair. Okay? There's an internship at a few barber shops that I looked at.
do it, yeah.
That's well, I can't do it right now. I just need to move out first.
No, yeah, yeah, I get it. Cause like I said, you got to be honest about what you can do and what you can handle. So you got your real estate license, so you're trying things. You know what I'm saying? And that you got that in the
No,
back.
real estate has always been my thing. Like
Yeah,
I could talk to anybody,
that's probably
but
the
it's
easier,
way
more.
more than talking. But
Yeah, that's probably I would probably put more focus into that to start because it's probably going to be a bit easier,
Yep.
um, and you'll have more opportunities of things you can do after that as opposed to barbering. Which no, I'm not shitting on any barbers, but like once you're a
Yeah.
barber, you're a barber. You're not doing anything else but doing that. So unless you're comfortable doing that for the rest of your life,
No, I'm
yeah,
not. Nope.
exactly. So
Here's
yeah,
my card.
let me see. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that picture before. That's a good picture.
I picked it out. I did it.
Well, once you get really established, maybe you can help me out because I've been apartment hunting and the apartment
Oh,
market
we
sucks.
need to talk about. Oh yeah. And not only does it suck, it's getting crazier, and it's really, really, really expensive, especially today, in July, summertime.
Yeah, ever since they passed the law where you don't pay broker's fee, which is good for the consumer, but the rents
No,
have
it's
gone
not.
up.
It's not good for you. No, that's what they want you to believe and think,
Sorry.
because you're gonna still have to pay more money in rent for the landlord because he's paying it. So
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's not up front it looks good, but it's not good because once that law passed, all the rents went up. So when I was checking all the hot pads and all the listings just vanished. Now I barely see any listings because all the rents have gone up. So I'm just like, it didn't help nobody. Now I'm priced out. You know?
well, well, I have a big mouth, so I'm gonna say this because it's my podcast, man. That's the Democrats.
Oh yeah.
Fuck him. Fuck him. But the Republicans are not any better.
Thank you for saying that because what I always say is everybody's wrong. The truth lies in the middle. They're wrong and they're wrong. Nobody's listening to each other. There's some truth in the middle. They're both right on certain things, but nobody wants to admit that. So
See, this is why I talk about politics, because, and in general, because people need to understand that both the two parties are the ones that are dividing the people.
yeah, I'm no longer a Democrat as of this year. Honestly, I very recently stopped being a Democrat. I'm Republican
I mean,
either.
look what they're doing with the bike lanes.
Yeah, they fucked everything up in the last since the pandemic. There's a lot that got fucked up. That's the
Okay,
whole.
but that's all the Democrats doing it. That's the governor and the mayor, and
Yep.
they're also the DOT commissioner.
Yep.
Don't you think they should all be questioned and fired? We need a reset.
As I said, everybody's wrong. Everybody's wrong. So I focus on the small things. I focus on myself and the people around me, and that's it.
That's why I don't care.
Yeah.
I just because I talk about it doesn't mean I care.
Yeah.
I'm bringing a point that people are not actually paying attention to the whole picture. They're not paying attention to the entire thing of what's to come, because there's also different levels of politicians as well.
Right.
So that's I'm gonna leave it at that. But
Yeah.
what I wanted to ask you is,
Yeah.
you research on everything. How you do research
Okay.
online?
So honestly, well, it depends on the topic. So if we're talking about health, I do a lot of online research. I listen to doctor podcasts. I listen to doctor interviews. I got, and the thing is, when I went to school for it, because, all right, so when I was younger, 'cause I tried many things. Dude, I went to school for music business. I went to school for computer engineering. I went to school to be an ambulance. I went to school for so many things when I was younger because you're told that's the thing to do. And then I dropped out because I never finished anything. And it wasn't until in my late 30s that I went back to school and I was like, let me learn the things that I actually care about, whether or not I actually do anything with it. I just want to do it. So I graduated first I got an associate's in community health education, and then I started taking exercise science, which I still haven't fully graduated. But the thing is that I viewed it differently because it was like when I take this class, I'm going to learn every fucking thing in this class and get an A authentically because I give a shit about it. You know what I'm saying? Most people go through school and they're just like cheating on tests or whatever. Like, dude, I read every textbook that they gave me. I made sure that I graduated with honors. I got an A average right now. Like, so
Wow,
yeah. So like, and it's because I give a shit. I was like, you know what? Whether or not I do anything in the health field officially, which I probably won't do. I want this
it
for
doesn't
my.
matter. You still work for it.
Yeah, I want it for myself, and I want it to share with people. So like, I got a textbook right here. So A from school.
What college are you in?
I went to right now. I'm doing an online school.
Mhm.
What do you call it? It's St. Paul, Minnesota. Jesus Christ, because I didn't go last semester.
It's okay. It's fine.
Holy fuck! I just had a brain fart.
That's okay.
This is gonna bother me. I have to find it before we get off. But it's in St. Paul, Minnesota, and they have an exercise science program. It was BMCC for the associates in community health. I was like, let me go to the cheapest fucking school and just learn the textbook and then go from there. Um, so so the school, and then yeah, I did the internship because of the school, and then again I listen to doctor interviews, listen to podcasts, and I never take information from one source. Like people will look at the first thing they see and be like, okay, that's the truth because this person said it. I'm like, okay, they said it. Does anybody else say it? How many people say it? And then I cross reference, right? So that's another thing. So yeah, a lot of podcasts, doctor interviews, a lot of stuff I learned honestly from YouTube. YouTube is a great source of information that's unregulated.
How
You
you
know,
pay attention to watch YouTube videos and understand the videos and apply what you actually learned and heard and then be able to explain it to somebody else. That is
that's
one of my biggest challenges. And as a person who has a learning disability, I love learning different things. I love nature, but I don't know necessarily technology is always the healthiest solution
that's a great
where
question.
they're just telling you based on YouTube. YouTube's the best. YouTube is great. People
Yeah,
are just telling you from their own experience, but they haven't actually experienced it in your own shoes, within your own situation. In terms of nobody really knows what you need more than yourself.
yeah, that's a good question. First of all, I found it. It's Concordia University. I had such a
Okay,
brain fart, but yeah, it's Concordia University, St. Paul,
okay.
Minnesota. So they have a school that's very big on exercise science and like programs like that. And it's hard to find a good exercise science school in New York. The only one that I found was Brooklyn College, but unfortunately, and I wanted to go there, but the problem is that their science department hours are like early day, midday. It's not for people that have that work day jobs. It's for people that you're a student and that's all you do. You know, so that's why I have to go online. But um, answer that question.
Did
But
they have an online program for
yeah,
control?
yeah, and
They
and
did.
uh, yeah, and my job pays for it. Luckily, that's I was blessed to work for companies that do tuition reimbursement. So that's why I
Okay.
was able to do it. So to answer your question, I have YouTube Red subscription
Hmm.
or YouTube whatever it's called now, YouTube Premium. So
Hmm.
you could listen to stuff without keeping the phone open. So luckily, I'm blessed enough that my job in the morning, I work. It's basically like me, one other person, but it's like working alone for like 2 hours. You know, but I have to get all this back end inventory stuff done. So I listen to this stuff. Your brain is in the best place to learn usually pretty early in the morning. Whether people believe it or not, it's actually true. Is because the amount of dopamine, the amount of stuff that you can pay attention to varies throughout your day. It's always best to do the chores and the things that are the least exciting earlier in the day because you have the most mental brain space to get it done. If you have a full day of like, oh, I went to work and I played video games and I did this and that and this, that you're like, okay, now let me get some schoolwork or let me learn something now. You got nothing left. It's best to do it earlier in the day before you exert your brain power, right? Or how much energy you have. So early in the morning, I'm literally working, counting inventory, things like that, and I'm just listening. And it's been that way. Or my commutes, like I just zone out and I listen to the podcast. I barely listen to music anymore, and I just keep absorbing the information. And I've listened to 20 plus doctor interviews about protein. It's just repetition, and
Wow.
you just keep
From
listening.
YouTube, right? From YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, some other medical podcasts. And you just and again it's cross referencing. If I've heard the same person, not the same person, if I've heard 10 different doctors say the same thing from
It must be
reputable
true.
research, I'm like, it's fucking true. It's got to be true, and it's got to be different sources. It's like, okay, let me listen to a credible doctor. Let me listen to a bodybuilder, even though I'm not a bodybuilder. He's got to know something about protein. Let me listen to, let's say, a guy, a martial artist who's got the physique that I would want to achieve. He must have some good advice. So listen to credible sources and listen to people that have achieved the thing you want to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing that infuriates me more, and no offense to anybody, there's nothing that infuriates me more than a person who's out of shape or obese giving health advice.
Why would anyone listen? Like, see, this is the problem, bro. People always are shitting on rich people. I'm like, not all rich people are scammers. Some people
Yeah,
actually invested their money in the right places and were able to buy real estate at a more affordable rate because they knew how to look and maneuver the markets. Why would I shit on anybody with that?
exactly. And then people listen to advice from the people closest to them who are only regurgitating shit they heard from somebody that was close to them, right? Instead of listening to the proven people that have success, right? So like you mentioned the market, like Why would you not listen to Warren Buffett when it comes to investing? Why the
Of
fuck would you
course.
not listen to Warren Buffett? Right? I mean, he may not. He's got some old advice, but his advice is solid. Like his Warren Buffett's advice: invest in S&P 500. It's boring. It's old school, but it still fucking works, and it's still working to this day.
And that's his slogan, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's the
Hmm.
simplest fucking thing. But during the pandemic, when I also learned a lot about stock, which everybody did from bad sources, I made a lot of mistakes. But luckily, I made bad mistakes by listening to the wrong people, but also made good enough moves that I didn't take too much of a financial hit. But all the anecdotal advice and invest in this, a Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's good, but invest in this crypto and this crypto and whatever.
XRP, XRP.
GameStop and all this stuff, and XRP is rising now, but that whole
Are
GameStop.
you in crypto?
I was in it. I got out. I'm gonna get back into it, but I since again I rebooted my life. I'm making all the safe investments now to build a strong foundation before I go back to crypto and those things. So
Mhm.
everything's going into S&P right now, and a couple of other ETFs like semiconductor funds because you got to look at what's coming, AI, all this stuff. So a couple of
We
safer
need to
stocks.
talk more about finances because
Yeah.
right now I'm trying to fix that as well. And I have some money in Bitcoin, XRP, Apple actually, and another tech company.
Well, let me give you the most broad. Remember how I said you got to tell people the uncomfortable things they don't want to hear.
Yep.
Okay, so you have all these investments, right?
Hmm.
Are you in a lot of debt?
Not really.
No.
Nothing substantial.
Credit card debt?
Yeah, but nothing crazy.
Okay. The reason I
Nothing,
say that
nothing
is
that I cannot handle.
okay. The reason I say that, well, you can't handle the payments, right? You don't have to give me a number, but the amount of debt that you have is it foreseeable that you could pay it off within 1 year if you really tried your hardest.
Uh, Before that,
Okay, good. So that's not too bad. The
yeah.
reason I say that is because the first thing that I learned the hard way, again, speaking from advice, I mean experience rather, is that you have this person, right? Whatever, just any person, and they've got $20,000 in debt. Just throwing a number out there. $20,000 in credit card debt. Let's just say they have this much debt, and I know people with that much debt or more, right? That are like in their 20s. You got $20,000 of credit card debt. But on the flip side, you're so desperate to get rich, and you think that the stock market's going to save you, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to invest in this stock, and this stock, and this stock." So I'm like, "All right, so you got this much debt, and you're paying 20+% interest on this much debt. You got this amount of investments. Let's say 10,000 investments. It looks, nice little portfolio. Your return is like 10% annually, maybe, and that's a good return annually on stock. So, 10% annual returns, 20% interest. You know what I'm saying? So you see where I'm going? As long as you've got this debt, there's not even a point in investing because all the money you're putting here, you could be paying down
Yeah,
your
like
debt.
what's the
You're
point of
upside down.
even? You have to pay your dues.
Exactly. So if
Yeah.
you're aggressively investing, but you have a ton of debt, you're doing it wrong. And again, I learned that the hard way because, dude, there was a point when I had like 30,000 plus of liquid cash
Holy
that I was
cow!
holding on to, and I wasn't paying down my debt, and then I made a lot of bad investments when I should have just paid down my debt. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't life,
Yikes.
I recovered, but all I had to do was take that money and pay off my debt. And instead, I was making all these stupid investments, and
That's the ADHD because we know that economics. I'm not really like a crazy spender. I just like nice things. I wouldn't say.
impulsivity.
Yeah, I wouldn't say really like materialistic. I just like nice things.
Yeah. So
I do. I like a nice bed.
me
I like
too.
a nice apartment. I don't like cheap crap.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. So before I would say pay down your debt, make it go away. If yours isn't too bad, that's great. If you have no debt, then yeah, go all in investing. That's
Trust
the point.
me, it's my debt is a little complicated right now
Okay.
because I'm working with a credit card agent with a credit agency when they not a debt collector agency, like when they like remove stuff. So I'm waiting to see what they tell me because they say I don't even have to pay it back. It already went to collections, but I might just pay it
Okay.
because it's not that much.
So you
So
got to rebuild your credit score then. That means your credit
I
score take a hit.
I fucked up my credit.
Yeah, I can help you with that too. That just takes time. Because I have an 800 plus score right now, but I was like 500 like 2 years ago. So it's
That's
doable
me.
in a short amount of
That's
time.
me.
Yeah, it's doable.
Wait, how long did it take for you to get from 500 to 800?
Two
How long
years.
did it? 2 years?
Yeah, but that was with a very aggressive move that not everybody has the option of because, like I said, I made some bad investments during the pandemic,
Hmm.
so I could have had more money, but I still had a good amount of stocks. I liquidated all my stocks. I liquidated everything that I had, and then I paid down the debt. And then I still had some debt, but then I aggressively paid it down more. But I had those stocks to liquidate to pay it down, so that's why I was able to do it faster. If
Yikes.
you don't have all those stocks, it's gonna take longer, but it's that's just to show you that it is doable and it can come back quickly. The faster you pay down your debt, that's really it.
Okay.
But yeah, you just have to be aggressive about paying the debt down because as long as your credit utilization is more than 30%, it's you're never gonna get that high. You got to bring the utilization down, and then like as it gets better,
30%, right? I think it was 30%. Yeah,
yeah. And as it gets better, and of course, these are basics. These are very basic advice, but don't never cut a credit card. Keep
I
our
know.
keep our credit cards open, and if you get credit increase offers, take it. Take the offers.
I can't. I closed all of them down. Not me, but it got closed.
Yeah, yeah.
Is
So
that gonna? It's
it's
girl.
gonna take some time, honestly.
We need
But
to have. This is a different conversation,
yeah,
girl.
yeah, yeah,
That my store. I fucked up so badly.
yeah. I got
I
I got
thought.
about 2 minutes, so let's pivot to like neurodiversity again, since that's what
Yeah, for
together.
sure.
One thing. So one thing I wanted to say was so like I've been posting all this stuff about general life advice, things like that, martial arts, whatever. I just whatever on my page. But then like when I just started hashtagging like ADHD or ADHD, I started getting a lot of people DMing me. You're one of them. A few other people reached out to me.
Yeah.
So my thing is like I'm still trying to find a way to maybe be helpful to neurodivergence, but do it in a way that's not the way it's being done right now because dude, there's so much like content out there about autism and everything, but it's a bunch of Karens in nice apartments. Let's keep it real. It's all it's the message is that far left message where it's like they're shoving it in your face and like
That's
you're
part of my
bringing
problem too, because I
yeah
don't even know if I'm autistic. I never went to a uh, neurologist or psychiatrist. Hey, you're this and this. The state of New York fucking labeled me as fucking autistic.
right. I mean that's not to say it's a bad thing. Like I've been officially diagnosed. I had the interviews and everything.
From who though?
I went
A
to
doctor? A doctor?
yeah. I'll link it to you later. I'm not going to mention it here, but
No,
there's
of course, but
there's a
not
center.
like from like an insurance company, right?
No, it's a legit place that specializes in neurodiverse people, and they employ neurodiverse people. And my one of my therapists is autistic, and it's a good place.
Oh, send it to me. I'm interested.
Yeah, I'll send it to
Okay.
you. Yeah, they officially. Okay, so let's go down this path. Do you know about the levels of autism and how it's ranked, like how it's sort of
Yeah, just level one, two, three.
right? So you have, and now this would be controversial, right? But I'm gonna fucking say it. You got all these level one autistics out here, as the poster child of autism, right? Making neurotypicals not take it seriously because of all the bullshit they're putting out there. When like they're not even talking about the level twos and threes, right? And all I see is like a bunch of Karens in nice apartments talking about like, oh my autism, like, and like, dude, there's so much content out there, but again, it's being shoved in everybody's face, in a way that like, are you like, you're not even acknowledging. Okay, here's what I'm really trying to say. There's a lot of poor me content out there. There's a lot of like, autism is that like, but these are level one autistics, right? There are people who have it far worse than you that you don't acknowledge, you don't shout out, you don't even mention. You're not talking about the nonverbals. You're not talking about the people that are like really
Severely.
severely a detriment that the people think of when they think of autism, right? So the message is kind of muddled, and that all that's to say is like I would like to talk about it more and be more educational about it, but not in the way that's out there right now because the it's getting so overdone and a lot of there's a lot of misdiagnoses also, and that's the other problem, right? So for the longest time, so there was a huge wave of over diagnosing for ADHD because they just want to prescribe you medication. So you go
That's
to
what happened to me in school. I
Yeah,
was on everything. I was on Strattera. I was on Ritalin. I was on Adderall. I was on Abilify. I was on Concerta. I was on Clonopin. I was on Vyvanse. I was on Tenant. I was on every. And you know what? I only said that I was never the problem, and I'm going to tell you why. Yes, I had behavior issues. Yes, I was disturbing the class. Yes, I got bullied. Yes, I hated raising my hand every time I had to pee. Yes, I hated raising my hand at all. And yes, I hated being in the classroom because I was never challenged.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like I told you, just speaking to you, I can tell you're on the spectrum. You have ADHD, and because I've studied it so much and I recognize it. And all I have to say is that there's no medication that's ever going to fix you, right? Because I did a course of Adderall, and I've done all that stuff. I never liked the way it made me feel. I never liked how it made me feel artificial.
Yo, Adderall, I'm really scared. Okay? Because when I took it, my heart rate went like,
I got my first speeding ticket the first time I took Adderall.
I'm not surprised. And you know what Adderall was to me? Caffeine.
It's that
It's
exactly what it
so
is, dude.
funny because it was giving me the opposite of. I'm already hyper. I'm already loud. I'm already obnoxious. I'm already aggressive. I'm ready to go like right now. Why do I need the Adderall? Because that's literally what the Western modern day pharmaceutical companies want. And I'm like, I'm never taking medication again.
Yep,
Ever.
yep. I was on the LIE driving to Manhattan, about to take the going in the Midtown Tunnel. The Adderall kicked in. I took it before I left. It kicked in, dude. I was just like, I started speeding. Like I had so much energy. I got pulled over. I was just like, damn. Like,
Fuck.
yeah.
Fuck.
First time.
You're done. You're done because speeding is like they're gonna quit. Are you on drugs? Are you drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily it was a pretty harmless procedure. I mean, it was a big ass ticket, but yeah, I got some points off. But that taught me I was like,
Damn.
I don't like this stuff. But all that's to
Wait,
say,
I have a question.
yeah.
You could tell though that I'm on the spectrum.
Oh yeah.
How could you tell?
Just the way you talk, the way the way your tangents work. There's a couple things, but
You're
I,
not. I'm asking because you're telling me from a non-biased point of view.
yeah, I do. I was able to tell it just like I said, listening to your intro on your podcast. Like there's certain traits that you just
Have.
yeah, if you're around it enough, you know what to look for, and that's the thing. Most people don't know what to look for. Um, and here's the thing: is like because now we are a lot more aware of the symptoms of autism, and
So do I acknowledge that I have it because I've never been formally diagnosed, and do I accept it and I say, hey, what can I do to change? Like the small thing because I don't really want to necessarily change, but what,
I here's the thing. Here's my stance on it, right? Because like my girlfriend right now, she's 100% neurodivergent. Never been diagnosed for ADHD. But dude, she is fucking on the spectrum, 100%. I know she is. Like
how do you know?
the way she needs me to be extremely specific when I speak to her in text. The things with tonality, her special interests, the way her hyper focus. Like we're so wired the same way in how we think, which is why we get along. Because I understand her completely, and she's been told that by her ex and everything. Like people tell her that she thinks she is, and it's there. She's just never been officially diagnosed. And so my stance on it is like I don't ever tell her. I told her I think she is, and she's okay with me thinking that. But I don't tell her to say like you're autistic or I think you're autistic. Like I just say you're neurodivergent. Like or
And not in a mean way,
not in any way. Yeah, because
but
again I never say it as a mean thing. It's just
of course.
I am too. So it is.
So what do I do? What do you think I should do though? Do I accept it and say, hey, look,
Yeah, I mean that's okay. I mean this is a good topic of conversation. There's a
remember,
very
it's very hard for me to accept. And a lot of people are like, oh, but you're never going to change. Nobody from the medical field, I said medical, meaning a neurologist, a PhD, psychologist, psychiatrist, no one has ever said that I was on the spectrum. They said they're not sure. They said I may be borderline. And then I got my IQ scores from the state of New York. And I'm looking at the IQ scores, Dennis, and I said, there's no way that is accurate. It's not even humanly possible. They told me I have an IQ of a 67.
Oh, that it came back low. Oh no, that's crazy. Because I mean, a lot of IQ tests are dubious. Dude, I've taken IQ tests. I've been told from multiple sources that I'm like I have genius intellect, but then I have ADHD, which throws it off. It's like my handicap. But then I've taken other IQ tests that like I failed, which were like shape tests and things like that. So I mean, a lot of
That's
them.
what I took. So what? How do I know where I stand when it comes to intelligence? I know I
Uh,
have a hidden intelligence. I have
I
something
would I
hidden that
wouldn't
I
measure
can't
it.
pinpoint it.
Don't measure it on intelligence because again there are some autistics that are like highly intelligent and have great pattern recognition. Some just have a lot of mechanical neurological difficulties because it's such a spectrum, right? So don't think about it in terms of IQ, but like I said, I mean the place I'll send you the link to it. They're a decent source. You may have to go through. They take insurance. You may have to like try to go through insurance. You could also pay cash, but it could be a little pricey.
I'm
I
going.
I probably wouldn't declare it to people unless you're diagnosed because I knew for a long time that I was based on my research, but I didn't come out and say it until I got the diagnoses. Because again, all these content creators and all these people that are self-diagnosed, and the thing is, a lot of symptoms that seem like um, autism or ADHD are self-inflicted based on habits, right? So hear me out here, right? So everybody's fucking overstimulated. Everybody is because of smartphones, Instagram. So everybody's attention span is worse than ever, and that's self-inflicted through your habits and through your diet. You have poor attention. You have varying degrees of energy because your diet fucking sucks and you're on social media all day. These people are getting diagnosed with ADHD and all this shit. And the thing is that if you go to a business and hear me out,
That's what I told my friends. By the way, I literally told my friends, everybody in New York, I'm talking about New York, is labeled as either as autistic or ADHD
yeah,
or PTSD or
yeah,
depression or overly anxious.
clinical depression and all this shit. But hear me out.
Bro,
Hear me out.
how you making that statement and how did you come up with that conclusion by meeting somebody for 5 minutes? Can't they just be having a bad day?
Exactly. And the thing is like if and like I said with me, it's like if you know what you're looking for, if you know what you're looking for, you can spot it. With you, I'm just like, yeah, 100%. But I've come across so many people that are like, "Oh, it's my ADHD. It's my ADHD." I'm like, "No, you're fucking not, dude. You're not." Like, it gets me upset because I'm like, here's the thing. Never forget, right? Doctors are a business. They're there to make money. If you seek something, you shall find it. If you go to a therapist, a doctor, and they don't prescribe medication and they suggest it. If you're at a good therapist and this therapist suggests, you might be autistic, you might be in a spectrum, I recommend you look into it. That's credible. If you go to a psychiatrist, somebody who prescribes medication, and you go to them and you're like, "Oh, I took all these self-diagnosis tests. I think it might be ADHD because I have terrible attention and blah blah blah." They're gonna be like, "Okay, yeah, you got ADHD. Take these medications. Take these meds." And all it is
That's
that
a
you,
business.
all it is you're on fucking TikTok too much, and that's the thing. So everybody thinks they have ADHD, but they're TikTok addicts, and that's literally all it
But
is.
they never formally they don't know.
Exactly. So that
Borderline. Border I have they said symptoms. What does that even mean? Autism I don't I'm confused.
exactly. If you see somebody who claims to be autistic or ADHD and they have they're perfectly still, they don't stim, there's certain things you could look for. You know what I'm saying that
But can you just tell me what you observed? Like
and
what made you think that? Because I don't know what describes somebody as autistic. You can't see it.
okay, so basically you can see it in behaviors, you can see it in speech patterns. So, well, let me ask you a couple questions. When you're in social settings, how do you feel physically?
Oh, I'm fine, but I'm very like loud. I'm like a social butterfly. Like whenever I hang out with my friends, I interrupt conversations, like over the phone, and I blurt out things.
Yep.
Like
So that's ADHD. The
no,
interruption.
but I'm just telling them how I feel. Like most of the time, I'm
Dude,
just
you
fucking
I mean,
around.
I haven't you've interrupted me so much, and I'm not upset about it because I understand.
Okay,
But that is classic ADHD. You can't hold it in. You got you just that's a it can overlap with autism and neurodiversity, but that is a neurodivergent trait.
but I also listened.
But you also listen exactly. So I'm not upset. Whatever.
Yeah,
Because I'm I try to jump in too because we both are excited and we just want to talk. But that is a classic.
Exactly.
Um, the your thought patterns. So the way like when I was listening to your intro, I was like, the way that you could freestyle and your thoughts branch from here to here to here to here, and you go on all these tangents to the point that you forget what you were even saying in the first place. Classic neurodivergent trait. But the thing is that there's a lot of ADHD and autistic traits that overlap.
Yes.
So sometimes you don't know which it is. So like that's why I hesitate to 100% say like, yeah, you're autistic, but you definitely have ADHD. You're one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know I have ADHD for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I'm not self-diagnosing myself with that. It's a fact.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
fact.
Do
So,
you have any issues with eye contact or sensory issues? Eye contact, touch, loud
sensory issues,
stimulation,
somewhat.
textures.
Yeah, somewhat.
Are there like if you're like in a loud public setting, do you feel like you have a battery? So like if you're in a loud public setting for too long, do you get really upset? Like, or can you kind of like deal with it?
No, I do it. I just don't like the loud noise.
But you don't like sudden loud noises, sudden
I
touch.
mean, I'm like just like the next person. Does anyone really like the loud noise?
Not really, but there's like, oh, that's annoying, and then there's it physically hurts me, like you cringe and you can't be around it. So that's an autistic trait.
No, not really.
Eye contact issues, like do you feel
No.
like you have any eye contact? I can't do eye contact. Like right now, I'm talking to you confidently. If me and you are in person, I would never look at your face, and that's one of the
Oh,
traits that
I'm very good with eye contact. I'm
yeah
looking at you straight in the eye, like man to man. Let's have a real conversation.
yeah. So
But I
that's
also talk weird. You know what's weird? Um, I have like a very raspy voice.
hmm
For whatever it is, I don't know why, but since like I was young, I always had like this weird feminine voice. Like I have like a lot of phlegm in my I don't know why.
And just for anybody listening or any viewers, like I'm not diagnosing you, or I'm just sharing anecdotal. I'm not a doctor, I'm just based on what I'm learning. But yeah, so like those are I'm speaking anecdotally. So those are things I struggle with. I'm horrible with eye contact. I hate being like it's a balance where like just being around people is so draining for me that it requires so much masking and effort. And I want to be around people, but I know it's physically tolling. Like literally, like it's like
Because
static.
they take your energy, right?
Yeah,
They
it's
drink.
like it's like static on a TV. It's like being near it too long. It just bothers me, but I have to force it. Again, I struggle with eye contact, sudden touching, loud noises really upset me. I stim a lot. I'm fidgety.
What does that mean, stim?
Stimming is a repetitive pattern motion. Um, like you ever like maybe if you see like a higher level autistic person, they're kind of like they walk around in circles, or they're constantly going like this with their hands, or they're constantly fidgeting. Like that's a stim. It's a repetitive motion you do for self comfort.
I
Some
do
people
this when I talk with my hands because I'm trying to like
no, that's not a stim. A stim is something that you can't control. Like I've done it.
deliver a message. What about repetitive behaviors?
That's what I'm saying. So like I even noticed just now talking to you, like I constantly pick at my beard. That's a stim. I'm constantly fidgeting with my hands. I scratch a lot. Like it's just endless nervous energy. I can't control.
So I
Like
do that verbally. Like I'll say the same thing more than once.
that's not really a stim, but I do that too. I repeat myself as well.
And do
Um,
you think that the vaccines, back in the day, I don't know if you were vaccinated, but do you think the vaccines causes autism?
as I always say, the truth lies in the middle, right? So you have one group, the RFK group, who refuses to admit anything else, and they want to blame one thing, and they're just like it's happening because of vaccines, right? And that's not 100% true, but I do think the COVID vaccine and a lot of those were dubious, and a lot of side effects are coming out.
Yeah.
And then you have the other side that's saying that's true, that's saying like it's not the vaccines, it's the fact that the science is getting better so we can spot it better, and now there's more help out there. So the reason why we're getting increased diagnosis is because there's more knowledge. So of course the people that were never diagnosed are being like myself are coming out late. So yes, there's an increase in diagnoses, but yes, there's also an introduction in a lot of external things that can cause autism, where if the parent has their health compromised, the child may very well come out autistic because it could just be a shitty lifestyle from the parent that led to poor development in the child.
That
So
could that could most likely happen to me.
yeah, like an alcoholic, drug addict parent is very highly
Oh no,
likely.
no, not an alcoholic
Not
like
you,
that. Just
not you.
eating good.
I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying in general, a parent with bad habits has a higher
Does that
percentage.
mean eating? That's
Whatever's
what.
making, yeah, bad
Okay.
eating, drinking, drugs, whatever's making you unhealthy can cause
And
developmental
what do you
issues.
mean when you see this is why I brought myself into the example? I think maybe like what about Tylenol? Taking Tylenol when you're pregnant.
I mean,
That is a drug.
I don't. I don't think that's the most pressing thing, but I know it can cause issues. It depends on how much you're taking. If you're taking a lot to the point that is causing detriment, then yeah, too much Tylenol causes liver damage, damages your kidneys and shit like that. So it's possible. I'm not going to say it's not impossible. I just don't have the science to say like yes for sure. But just general, I mean, generally speaking, poor lifestyle, bad health, again, habits. If you're unhealthy, you're gonna have an unhealthy child most likely. You're gonna pass on a lot of bad traits to your child. You know what I'm saying? So that alone can cause an autistic child. Combine that with possibly dubious vaccines. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the point I'm trying to make is the truth lies in the middle. There's a lot of external toxic shit that's been introduced into the world that has increased the rate, but also there's more science, there's more knowledge to spot the people who are. So yes, the diagnoses are going up of neurodivergent people, and it's a combination of both reasons. So again, far right, far left. They're saying one thing and they're saying it's never going to be the vaccines. Vaccines are from God and we love them, and then they're saying like it's the fucking vaccines, and I'm like it's a little bit of both. The truth lies
That's
in
what
the
I
middle.
told my friend.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
People fucking worship vaccines. I'm like, don't you think maybe one or two of them might have been dubious?
And when you think about, people like me and you, right, who are trying our best to live fulfilling lives and, want to have more in terms of freedom, and I want to own multiple businesses. That's my goal. I'm a business person. I cannot listen to authority. I can't listen to, these old people. Not my thing. When you think about people, so I just gotta just put the battery mode up. When you think
Okay.
of people like me and you that would occasionally, I don't know, maybe 4 days a week, smoke weed. We think
That's That's a very good question, bit of controversial topic. So, I take edibles. You know what I'm saying? I find I was a daily smoker for years. A lot of it was influenced by my ex girlfriend. Not blaming her. I'm an adult, but she was a weed smoker. We were weed smokers, so we just kind of influenced each other. There were times I tried to quit. She would smoke, I'd start smoking. Vice versa. It wasn't until very recently that I finally got off of smoking it, just because I was worried about lung health, and that is a fact. It is that does compromise your lungs. You're lighting a fire. You're breathing that shit in. You know what I'm saying? And vaping is even worse. You're probably better off smoking flower than vapes, honestly, in my opinion. So I switched to edibles. I take edibles daily. I'm actually going to take one now when I get off with you. Um, but I'm also trying to wean off that because basically everything has a cost, right?
yeah.
So if you're using marijuana, if you're getting high, are you using it constructively, or are you using it to just sit on your couch and fucking binge Netflix all day? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I use it, it enhances my mind body connection. So I have better workouts. I use it for exercise. I use it when I want to really like hone in on something. So I use it as a tool. I know that there's other possible detrimental effects from it, um, but I'm just kind of weighing the cost. But I do want to wean off of it. So I guess I'm just trying to say is like if you're gonna use it, try to be constructive about it and don't just use it to sit on your ass all day. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
And don't tell yourself you need it because people swear they're like, I need it. It's a sleep aid. It helps me sleep. I'm like, you'll probably sleep better without it if you remove the stimulation and then fix other parts of your life. You know what I'm saying?
I recently just started to smoke again.
And what does it do for you?
I just smoked once since I got the pen,
Yeah.
and I don't. There's just. I'll let you know as I occasionally do it more. Um, I want to see like if I'm able to focus and be a little bit more calm in social situations, if that makes sense.
So you just wanted to mellow you out because you're too hyper.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
because I interrupt, I blurt things out. My friends don't like it, and
Yeah.
they're not really the most neurodivergent friendly people, you
Yeah.
know.
So they
'Cause
wouldn't understand. Yeah. So
I mean, they say they do, but their actions show me otherwise.
I get it. I mean, I don't. It's a tough balance because nobody likes being interrupted, but it's unless you really understand where somebody's coming from, it's hard to relate. And that's a problem with mental health and neurodivergence. Period. Is that you could say all these things to people, and this is something I learned. Is that you could say all these things to you. I could write a diagram. I could make a video. Whatever. I could say all these things, but people will never 100% relate or take you seriously because they just don't know what it
Yep.
feels like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
this is it.
and that's the thing. It's like, um, and one last branching thought. So, like, if a person is born with a disability, right? They
Hmm.
can't walk. They can't walk. They're missing a finger. Whatever. Some physical disability. You'll see that person and just be like, oh man, and you'll have empathy, and because you can see it, right? I can see that there's something not functioning, or there's something wrong, right?
Hmm.
But then people have this attitude that like somehow every brain is perfect. You're born with perfect brain, right? And like it's impossible that could this person have a different brain? Could this person operate differently? It's like unless you could see it, people tend to not believe it 100%. They think you control it. They think you could like you have control. Um, like I've been told so many times, like, oh, I wish you were more emotional. I wish you had more emotion about things. I'm just like, this is me. I can't control it. I can't manifest feelings about things that I just don't have feelings about. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
There's like people just don't seem to understand and believe that think you can control it or just create it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So that's another struggle is that no matter what you tell people, they'll never 100% really take you seriously on it unless they are experiencing it themselves. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Which is why it's
This is what I
refreshing.
smoke.
Which I can't see you. Your camera's off.
Oh, you don't see me?
No, all I see is letter A.
Really? I'm telling you, it's this
Yeah, I don't know.
Riverside thing. All
Yeah,
right. Oh, damn.
but yeah, that's why I volunteered to do this podcast. Like I barely. Hello. Oh, I guess. Are you there? I guess he's relogging. All right, we'll give him a minute. It's just me and the camera. Well, I'm about to take my edible right now as I was talking about it. Oh, there you are. um, yeah, so I was just saying. Oh, I lost you again. Can't hear you.